Well, after a couple of days of mucking around, I've finally built and completed my next experimental antenna. Now, although it's kind of like set up like a dipole, it is acting essentially as two phased verticals that are 1/3 of a wavelength long each, but they're fed at the top and they're half a wave apart approximately. Okay, so you can see the apex up there. Okay, now what you might notice, forget the black vertical line there, that's the rope. You can see slightly off to the left of it from this angle, those two fine lines, and they're coming down and getting closer and closer and closer, and going to an Anderson connector, where I'm connecting over to coax. So this is essentially my matching section, parallel feeder that's gradually tapering its characteristic impedance. Now, so from the start of the parallel feeder to the top and then out to X amount along is a quarter wave, and then it joins to a 1/6 wave section. So, but this is the way I've been calculating it, so I'll simplify it. From the apex, well, what we have is the parallel feed section is 2/12 of a wavelength long, and one element across the top before it comes downward is then actually a quarter wave. So we have a sort of spread out, not very inverted, but an inverted V top section of a half wave, fed by 2/6 of a wavelength, or sorry, 2/12, which is 1/6 of a wavelength of the matching section. Now, so a quarter wave on one side comes out, and then we actually take a pretty much a right angle, not quite because of the inverted V. And now coming down, we have 2/6 of a wavelength coming all the way down to just a couple of feet. I'll try to get this showing. Yeah, hanging there off the ground. So this is a 2/6 of a wavelength, if I've got this right. Yeah, so 1/3, in other words, 1/3 of a wavelength, vertical, and roughly a half a wave away from it at the other side, I have exactly the same. You can see that white rope hanging down. That's actually just weighing the wire down. So the red wire on this side, I'll just go to it, is a couple of feet off the ground. As you can see, the red wire there just hanging in free space. So this is the other end. So yeah, so basically a 1/3 of a wavelength vertical element with another 1/3 of a wavelength vertical element positioned approximately half a wave apart. They're not exactly half a wave apart because of the V factor of the top. If I had this rigged perfectly straight and not inverted at the top at all, you know, not the V config, even though it's mild, then they would be exactly half a wave apart. Now, so because these are, both of the vertical sections are exactly 180 degrees out of phase and close to half a wave apart, then they're actually in phase with each other and have gain along the axis, whereas a normal half wave inverted V dipole horizontal like this would be broadside in gain. But because of these two, there's the vertical section here and the vertical section here completely out of phase, from this position off the side it's a cancellation, and same on the other side, but it has a significant gain now pattern out to either end, and she's working like a charm. Okay, I'll just show the TX power here. It's 5 watt PEP. Now I must point out that the antenna's orientation is not actually pointing its gain on either side to any of the SDRs that I can test on. So I'm monitoring now South Australia, and so it is sort of in one of my major lobes, but it's not bang on. It's it's quite a few degrees off. But as you can see, it's getting through there with the 5 watts. Okay, right now to VK5. So soon I'll jump outside with a field strength meter and just demonstrate the near field observations. But essentially this is the configuration. So I have my coax running up, then I'm connecting to a matching section where it's measured out at 2/12 of a wavelength, virtually measured for free space, and tapered out to not very wide. I haven't measured exactly, but you know, probably 10 to 20 centimeters apart at the top or something like that. Yeah, so 15, goodness knows, whatever it is, but not a lot. You could tinker with that for your tuning. And then from here, as you can see, I've got 3/12 of a wave for this element, which is, of course, 1/4 wave, because 3, 6, 9, 12. 3, 6, so 1/4 wave element, and same at the other side, of course, it's mirror image. And then we've got 4/12 of a wave coming down, which of course 4, 8, 12, 3 4s and a 12, so that's 1/3 of a wave, and it just hangs there. We've got the same at the other side. So since we've got a half wave distance, I mean mine is slightly wrong because it's slightly higher in the middle and drooped at the side, so these are ever so slightly closer, which will spread the lobes at the end. It won't quite be as punchy, slightly more spread. But they're, let's say, essentially half wave apart, and they're being fed, of course, 180 degrees out of phase. So you get your 2 verticals, and then you've got your vertical polarization with a stronger lobe this way, and a null because you're seeing both phases from this side. So you're getting a null off the sides. So you can see I'm sort of near the side of the antenna system right now, and you can see I'm getting very little action on the meter. I will check horizontally though, because the top section is horizontal, and very little action there. Now what I'll do is I'll wander over to one end where we've got the vertical, the top fed 1/3 wave vertical section. So I'll just come out a bit away from that. So that's just rope sort of stopping it from drifting about too much. It's not doing much. That's the actual black wire hanging there, and all the way up to the top there. So I'll move away. I'll come way past this chair now and get in line, and you'll see now, hopefully you can see that, the meter is going off its nuts. So I'll move a bit further away, let that come back. So yeah, so she's kicking it out. Now I'll move around. Hopefully this shows. This is very hard. See, it's got a fairly wide lobe, but the more I move around in the degrees, the more I start to see of both of the verticals, then the less this becomes. I'll just duck under this tree and come around the side, sort of side. And you can see now we've dropped right off. Now I'll just run over to the other end. Take a stride over the coax without breaking my neck. And right, so the antenna's up there. Now I'm sort of off to, I'm very close to, see this is the, if you can see that rope and wire hanging there, the other vertical element. So I'll now come past that system, past off from the side, in line with the end. And you can see now, yeah, she's coming out really strongly. So there you go. It works, and it works like a charm. And I'm stoked that I got a natural match as well. Where is it? Sometimes I just can't figure these things out when I'm looking through the camera. Oh, it's so hard to pick, isn't it? Oh yeah, I think that's the apex there. Okay, I've changed position, but yes, I'm very, very pleased. Not only has it worked, I've got a nice natural match without needing the tuner. My original idea if you've seen my previous video, was that for it to come down 1/6 of a wave and then come in and across 1/6 of a wave, but I've decided to have both those 2/6 of a wave come straight down, so I've got more of a vertical element on each side of the system. 7.3, and thanks for watching. Okay, and if you're still here, and there's a little extra bit for crazy people like me. So a little bit more info. Each side of the antenna, if we factor in this matching section, is 9/12 of a wavelength long. Right, so the overall length, including these sections, is 18/12. So let's have a look at a timing sequence. So since I've marked out in 12ths of a wave what the sections are, let's count it through from the start. 1, 2, and then we've got the 3, so 3, 4, 5. And then we've got the 4, so it's 6, 7, 8, 9. So we get to the end, we've hit 9/12. Then we reflect back. So after the 9, we've got 10, 11, 12, 13. And then we've got this 3, 14, 15, 16. And then we've got this 2, 17, 18. Numerology, 1 plus 8, 18 equals 9. Now, 18, add the 2, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 2 and 7 is 9, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 3 and 6 is 9, 7, 3, and thanks for watching.